We're starting to see a lot of the fun details that we're hoping to have in all of our wild boar farm ones. Some of these plants, as I...
Poe, get off of our...
Oh, bad cat! Bad cat! Bad cat. We have been super busy over the last month and things have really started to explode. We're still, you know, every day just trying to keep up with everything, but it's coming a little bit more under control and we're starting to do some real infrastructure stuff soon. But it looks so great that we need to show you everything. This is our family garden. Up here I have a lot of things that I don't want to put in the farm because I don't think I'm gonna have a ton of success with it. Things like cabbages and broccoli, cauliflower, you know, bits and pieces of kale, Swiss chard, tomatoes, stuff that we can just run out, grab it out of our garden and bring it right back into the kitchen because this is fairly close to our kitchen here. I am excited though because things are starting to do something. I have some stuff that looks like real cabbages in here and I should have picked this a week ago, but look at this purple cauliflower. It looks so funky even though it started to go to seed a little bit, so we should probably eat that tonight. I'm not a huge flower person, but I did this on purpose. This is my flower garden where I have my sweet alyssum and my marigolds and my geraniums. This is all super, super easy, but I was like, oh, it's gonna make my greenhouse like pop. I can look out from the kitchen. So I love that this is filling in and looking so great. And then come with me inside the greenhouse because in here I have planted some cucumbers and some cucamelons, and this was an experiment because it gets up to 50 in here, but look, success! There's actual cucumbers, and you know, these are a little crispy fried, which is definitely from how hot it gets in here. But so far, maybe we can grow hot weather stuff in here over the summer. The next month will be the real test, but I'll have at least one cucumber salad before then. Our strawberry section in here, it was going insane during the last video, and now it's slowed down a bit, but a bunch of these are ever-bearing. So we're gonna have a continuous slow amount of strawberries all year. But look at these! These are my dahlias. And look at this. Look at these. This is a dinner plate dahlia. And they're just insane. And this plant, this here's one plant, and I've been picking the buds off of it, you know, like when they're open like this, to do is cut flowers. So I cut these completely clean, like not a single flower on it, Thursday, and it already has all of this filling in. They're amazing. And I have a whole mix of them, and they make me very happy. Success! Flower success. And speaking of flower successes, look at the flower farm. It shouldn't look like this. It looks amazing right now. And that's a little bit of a mess up because all of these open, beautiful flowers are stuff that I should be picking, but it's growing so many flowers I can't even keep up with it. We have started selling bouquets over the last 2 weeks, and people are excited. People like them. They look good, and don't, Mia. And they're going together fairly easily. I'm not a florist, and I am not a flower farmer, so I'm pretty happy with the fact I'm having some real success on it.
I don't know. I think you're a professional florist officially now.
I don't know.
Once you sell bouquets, not to your like friends or relatives, once you sell it to the general public successfully, then I think you attain florist status.
Well, jury's out. You guys can decide if I'm actually a florist. Ian thinks I am. I think I'm not. So you guys are the deciding vote. Give a thumbs up on the video if you think I'm a florist. How good those look.
What's up, Leah?
I do rabbit.
Wait, raspberries? Can I have it?
No.
But it looks super yummy. I haven't really had many raspberries yet this year.
Sorry.
Can I see it? Just let me see it.
Fine, but you can't have it.
Okay. No, I want to see it with my hands in my mouth. I
No.
want to see it with my tongue.
No.
Here, just. I bet you can't drop it. Can you drop it?
Yes.
Where are the raspberries from?
Remember.
She's got a little secret stash of them somewhere.
I know.
Every
They keep bringing them in, and I don't know where they're getting them.
What's going on here?
Like this? Deadheading, Dahlias.
Always working. Always hustling.
So we used to have our garlic in here, and we harvested it. We made a garlic harvest video, which we'll tab. But empty space, gotta plant something. So I did a half bed of radishes, which is what's really popping up here. And then I have some mustard greens. And then on this other empty looking spot, I have some spinach planted, but I don't know. There's, the radishes are working, I know that. And then on the other side, like all this tall stuff, I planted all these sunflowers that I started as seedlings, and I put all these like over planted winter squash in here, and I'm really excited because I can see fruit on them. They're filling in really nicely. You know, now that the garlic's out, they actually kind of have some space to sprawl out, and I think it's gonna work. I think we're gonna end up with this, you know, nice mini mountain of winter squash for ourselves for the winter. So we're eating good all summer and hopefully eating good this winter too.
What else is going on in here? We got irrigation now.
Oh yeah!
Yeah, so this whole area we were moving like a little sprinkler around, which was very time consuming. So the other day we managed to find some time to put impact heads. So now this is all set up and there's lots of overlap, so it gets a nice good watering and it makes our life a lot easier.
This is our newest greenhouse, which isn't so new anymore because look, there's tomatoes as tall as me. There's a lot going on in here. This was a greenhouse of, like an entire greenhouse of the saddest, most pathetic seedlings ever, because we were like, oh, we have all this stuff, we need to get it planted. So we're really happy to see, you know, like full grown looking eggplants and peppers. What? It beeped. Did it stop recording?
It didn't beep. It's still recording.
Oh.
It never beeped.
Okay. Peppers that are green, not
dead.
orange, and you know, tomatoes that have fruit on them set. We're starting to see a lot of the fun details that we're hoping to have in all of our wild boar farm ones. Some of these plants, as I
Poe, get off of our.
Oh, bad cat! Bad cat! Bad cat. He's totally freaked because I smacked him.
He's already freaked out from the deer.
He's not allowed to do that. The plan is that a lot of these tomatoes are going to go to market with us, but the eggplants and the peppers, we just planted them because we had them left over from the seedling sale. We have over 100 eggplants in here because this is a 50-foot tunnel, and that's probably going to end up being a lot of eggplant. We love eggplant. We'd like gladly eat a dozen eggplant a week, but you know, we don't necessarily need 100 eggplant a week. So eggplant coming to your local Lake Country Market soon.
You guys are cute.
Oh no, they're catching me.
Are you eating all the cherry tomatoes?
We may never have cherry tomatoes for market at this rate. This greenhouse was our farmer's market cherry tomato greenhouse, and a lot of these plants were stunted, so things are behind, but once they start, they'll produce a lot. We also have 2 beds outside of greenhouses of cherry tomatoes planted up close to the garlic, so in total, I think I have 100 cherry tomato plants, and it's, you know, come August, there's going to be quantity and quality, because these are really tasty now.
They're not.
But Leah knows nothing. But yeah, it makes me happy to come in here and see all my beautiful tomatoes, and it's a little bit less chaos in here. These cherry tomatoes are Barry's Crazy Cherry, which is the whole reason why I got obsessed with Wild Boar Farms tomato plants in the first place. And oh my god, it is, it's crazy. It's very accurately named. You know, the flower clusters are insane, and you're like, oh yeah, but it won't all set to fruit. But like, this is the very first cluster that this tomato plant produced.
This stunted behind.
Yeah, this stunted behind first cluster is insane. So very well named. Crazy cherry right there. We've been really happy with how the farm has been going. You know, the plan was to be able to take, you know, a regular chunk of a variety of vegetables out of here to the market, and so far it's been success. We've had a lot of stuff that has been 100% crop loss due to pests, and it hasn't affected our ability to, you know, feel like we're having success at the market. So we're really happy with how this is going. This week we had beets for the first time. Let's see, find one. We've been bringing them at this like baby size. This is like a long cylindrical one, but excited to have these finally starting. And we've been having carrots for about 3 weeks now, and you know, there's definitely some, you know, I've been going through and doing selective, kind of trying to pull bigger stuff, but we've been, you know, getting some nice sized baby carrots for the market, and doing bunches of these, and they're super sweet, and everyone's been really happy and buying more and more as the weeks have gone on.
I want to have a carrot.
There you go. Here, take these so you can go wash them.
Where will I wash them?
Go wash them over the house.
Yeah, go wash them in the...
No, I want to wash them with the hose.
Well, then go wash them in the bathroom.
What?
In the outbuilding.
I don't know how to do that.
Well, go figure it out.
We're almost like... We've been replanting as we've been taking stuff out. Here we have another bed of carrots, another bed of beets. This is Kohlrabi. This will be my last week on Kohlrabi. It doesn't necessarily like the heat that we get in the summer, so I'm gonna do some seedling starts, and I'll probably have it again in September. But I have some radishes, some walking onions, a second succession of some zucchini down on the end there. We've had a leftover piece of the landscape fabric when we're all done, so we just burnt it into the pattern for the lettuce. And you know, at this point we knew the space was getting to be a little bit much just for market, so I planted some bush beans and some onions that'll be for us personally. Filled in some more lettuce. Here's some beets. These will probably actually start being ready as baby beets this week. These are Ace and Chicago, but so this is a different variety than my first one. And then my lettuce bed. Every single lettuce that I planted for like my first successions have either sold or been called out. It was time for them to go, and so in here I have lettuce that's ready now that has been in the farm probably for 3 or 4 weeks. This here is 2 weeks, and I have seedlings to plant. You know, tomorrow is probably a lettuce day, but so far I've been really happy with this, because one of my #1 goals this year was to get a good steady succession on the lettuce, to be making sure that I was, you know, starting new transplants, getting the transplants into the ground, taking out, you know, lettuce that isn't tasty anymore on this kind of 2-week cycle, so that I always have lettuce. I always have enough. It's always good, it's always tasty, and we've been succeeding so far. So
Some of
you know,
our best feedback has been about the lettuce.
yeah, the lettuce, like, it's blowing our minds just how good this lettuce is. It is really tasty lettuce. It's Salanova from Johnny Seeds, and yeah, go buy it. It's amazing. Now I know why everyone talks about getting it. Ian's been giving me a hard time about my nasturtiums. He says they don't look very good, but that's just because they need to be deadheaded. I'm gonna come out here tonight, I'm gonna strip every single flower off these plants, and today's Monday, and by Wednesday, it's gonna be loaded with fresh flowers. These are crazy, and they'll go all season. So I'm gonna, beautiful salad mix till the end of time. This is my kale. They're, you know, we're into full on, you know, kale's been growing for a while now, so now I got my kale palm trees where they just, the stick, because as you pick kale, you just pick from the bottom, and then every week more grows, and it just gets taller and taller. But
Closest thing to a palm tree in Canada.
Yeah, exactly. Canadian palm trees. I've been really happy with my kale. At our old place, we would always get infested with aphids by this point, and so far it's looking fairly good. One of our biggest pests was cabbage moth, and so I've seen a few little caterpillars in here, but nothing that I can't just clean up and still sell. They really haven't been doing much damage. And I have more kale started, so if I need to, this really doesn't need to last too much longer. And then on the far end, we got our Swiss chard, and it's not as happy, but whatever. I have beets, so get rid of the Swiss chard. We're on to beets. This is the zucchini. It's doing awesome. I'm so happy. I can eat 8 zucchinis every day and still have stuff to sell at the farmer's market. So I'm living my best possible life. Zucchini all day, every day is as good as it gets for me. And with tomatoes and eggplants soon to join the mix, I will be eating very well. This is my bed of herbs. I got my basil, parsley, cilantro, and my cilantro, it's another one, kind of like the lettuce. I wanted to get a couple successions on it, and so far I've had some success. My first planting went to seed, had the right timing for my second planting to be ready, and it's looking like I'll get one more week before it goes to seed, and by that time the planting that I have next looks like I should be able to harvest on it. So there's a lot of these things that I know in theory, I've done on a small scale in practice, and it's very easy to drop the ball when I have so many things that I'm trying to work on, and so far I haven't dropped the ball on a lot of these things. You know, like I've kept the farm succession planted. Like here's another perfect example. This is another bed of carrots and beets, and you know, it's timed. This bed is a week and a half behind the other carrot and beet bed that I have planted, and this stuff is stuff that'll keep super well. Like it's gonna be, you know, like ready in the end of August, but I can just keep picking out of it until frost if I want. This here is another bed of carrots, and these are ready too. So I'm really happy with how things are going. Like there's stuff there for me to pick whenever I need it. I haven't had the issue yet of not having enough produce to sell. All of my issues are I run out of time and we need more customers, and those are the things that we really are excited to be working on this year. Being able to say that we already have like farm systems in place feels like beyond lucky. It feels like, you know, maybe it'll work. At this rate, we can say with confidence, maybe someday it'll work. And then the last thing in the farm is a weedy mess. This is on the task list for this week, along with getting so Tuesday is I do lettuce, so then Wednesday I gotta do this. And I gotta weed these, because you can't even see, but these are tomatoes. And all these tomatoes are my bigger beefsteak tomatoes, and they're forming. There definitely is some some stuff on here, and it won't be long until it starts ripening. And some of them, oh, like here's a perfect example. Some of them look, you know, like funky, though this is a bad example because it's all cracked. It looks funkier than it should, like funky in a bad way, like it's got some funk in it. This chaos zone is something. This section here is a bunch of perennial flowers that I started along with all the other seedlings that I started, and we potted them up into bigger pots, and the plan is sometime before the fall we need to make a bed for these. But this is stuff that, you know, after I let it grow this year and next year, they will be cut flowers for, you know, years and years to come. And we can put them somewhere now and then transplant them in a couple of years. I also have all of these 1 gallon pots all along here, and these are plants that we kind of had left over from the seedling sale that we thought would sell in a larger size, like the sunflowers that once they bloom, they have a lot of value, or some of these patio tomato plants with the red fruit starting on them. You know, they look exciting, and they're for the person who all they have is a patio and, oh, just grab it, take it, it's ready. It doesn't need to be in the ground, it can be in a pot. So we've been selling some of these, but it also, every day I have to come and I have to water all this. So we are getting kind of over it. We still have a bunch of the strawberries left that we were selling from the seedling sale too, and it's all just slowed down. So we're thinking maybe it's time pretty soon to do a sale on that and get rid of it. And then the other seedling spot is along here, is where I have been keeping all of my transplants, all my lettuce. I have some kales, I have some kohlrabi started, some Swiss chard, and this spot is like kind of partial shade. The sun kind of rises over this building, and so it doesn't get full sun here until about 2 or 3, and then it has full sun until, you know, like 7:38. So these I can get away with only watering them once a day, whereas there's not very many spots on the property that they will not dry out that fast. So things have been doing quite well here, and then it's nice not to have to use the seedling room. We found that the seedling room was actually too hot to germinate lettuce. The lettuce was just you know, 90 degrees, and the seed didn't want to pop open at all.
I got you some hostas.
Oh, thank you. Digging my plants up.
Yep.
What are you doing? What are you doing? Are you hunting? You a wildcat now? You don't sound like a wildcat. You don't sound like a wildcat. Where's the mouse?
We've been having so much success selling at the market that we decided to reprioritize building the farm stand, which is, you can see the holes dug for it. We decided to reprioritize that above like the walk-in cooler and the wash station. We've started work on that. Had to move some of our wood pile and, you know, dig some holes, and we did the like call before you dig thing so that we didn't you know, hit any gas lines or anything like that. We're really excited to have this farm stand because we're not going to man it. We're just going to do the honor system, which may sound kind of weird, but our particular street, everyone who lives here kind of does chickens for farm status, and there's an established customer base of people that just drive down here and pull down people's driveways and then get stuff like get eggs from the fridge that they'll have just sitting out there, and it's all honor system. So it's kind of an established practice. We're hoping that we can have luck with it. There is theft issues for people when they do it. It's not like, you know, Canada is a perfect place. If the theft is too bad, we will move it back onto the property, but we've just decided that we need to be able to sell every day to make more money because we're having a lot of customers, like repeat customers, and people are really interested in what we're doing. It's not easy to build a clientele. So since we are finding that, we got some momentum going with building clientele, that we might as well, keep the foot on the gas pedal and keep going with that, because, we can grow as much food as we want on 2.5 acres, but if we don't have someone to sell it to, it doesn't matter. And we have to, think that it takes time to build all that stuff. So really excited to have Farm Stand. Our driveway was a little bit narrow, so the other day I had a chainsaw going, so I just took out a bunch of cedars that were along here. And now the driveway is nice and wide for people to pull in, and a little bit lighter because people sometimes are intimidated to pull down this like dark alley that is our driveway. Thanks for checking out our video. You should hit the subscribe button if you want to see our next video, which is like only 3 weeks away.
Excuse me.